Hey, are you interested in learning? Check out our videos. Want more knowledge content? Make sure you've subscribed to our channel.
All right, let us talk about something that confuses a lot of people when they first start learning AI, the difference between machine learning and deep learning. These two terms are often used interchangeably, and while they're definitely related, they're not the same thing. So today, let's break it down in the simplest way possible, with examples you can actually relate to. So first, let's start with machine learning, or ML. Machine learning is basically the idea that we can teach computers to learn from data, just like humans learn from experience. Instead of writing thousands of rules to tell a computer what to do, we feed it examples and let it figure out patterns on its own. For instance, if you want your computer to recognize spam emails, you don't have to manually list out every possible spam word. Instead, you feed it hundreds or thousands of examples of spam and non-spam emails. The algorithm then learns what patterns or features are common in spam emails, things like suspicious links or certain phrases, and it starts classifying new emails automatically. That's classic machine learning, training models based on data. Now, deep learning is actually a subset of machine learning, but it works in a much more complex and powerful way. While traditional machine learning needs human help to pick which features are important, deep learning can figure that out on its own. It uses something called neural networks, which are loosely inspired by how the human brain works. Here's an easy way to imagine it. If machine learning is like teaching a kid by giving them clear instructions, for example, when you see 4 legs and it barks, that's a dog. Then deep learning is like showing the kid 1,000 pictures of animals and letting them figure out for themselves what a dog looks like. That's the key difference. Machine learning relies on human-guided features, while deep learning learns features automatically through layers of neural networks. Let's take an example from real life. When you use Google Photos and it automatically recognizes faces or objects, that's deep learning at work. When Netflix recommends shows based on your viewing history, that's more of a traditional machine learning algorithm. Both learn from data, but deep learning goes deeper, literally, because it uses multiple layers of processing to learn complex patterns like shapes, voices, or emotions. Now, you might ask, so when should I use machine learning and when should I use deep learning? Well, it really depends on the type and size of your data. Machine learning works great when you have smaller data sets or simpler problems, like predicting house prices, detecting spam, or recommending a product. Deep learning, on the other hand, needs massive amounts of data and computing power. It's best suited for things like image recognition, voice processing, self-driving cars, and natural language understanding, tasks where the relationships in the data are complex and not easy to describe manually. Another big difference is how much effort goes into feature engineering. In machine learning, you usually have to help the algorithm by deciding which features matter. For example, in a model predicting a car's price, you might manually choose features like mileage, age, or brand. But in deep learning, the system automatically extracts those features from the raw data. You just feed it enough examples, and it figures out what matters. Of course, this comes with a trade-off. Deep learning models are powerful, but they're also data-hungry and resource-intensive. They require specialized hardware like GPUs and often take longer to train. Machine learning models, on the other hand, are lighter, faster, and easier to interpret, which is why they are still widely used in business applications and data science today. So basically, you can think of it like this. Machine learning is like a skilled worker who needs clear instructions and examples. Deep learning is like an experienced researcher who can find patterns on their own, but they need a lot of data and computing power to do it. Now, another point to note is explainability. Machine learning models like decision trees or linear regression are easier to explain. You can tell exactly why a prediction was made. Deep learning models, however, are often seen as black boxes because it's harder to understand how they arrived at a result. That's why in critical industries like healthcare or finance, machine learning is often preferred when transparency matters. So to sum it up, all deep learning is machine learning, but not all machine learning is deep learning. Machine learning learns from data. Deep learning learns from layers of data. Machine learning is great for structured problems with limited data. Deep learning shines when you have large unstructured data, like images, audio, or text. Both are incredibly important in the world of AI, and they often complement each other. Most real-world systems today actually use a combination of both, traditional ML for the logic, and deep learning for perception tasks like understanding language or recognizing images. So if you're starting your journey, Begin with understanding machine learning basics, things like regression, classification, and clustering. Once you're comfortable with that, then move into deep learning frameworks like TensorFlow or PyTorch to build neural networks. And remember, deep learning isn't replacing machine learning. It's expanding it. They're both essential skills in the AI toolbox. That's it for today's session on machine learning versus deep learning. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And drop a comment below telling me which AI or data science topic you'd like me to cover next.
How did you feel? Is it helpful? Appreciate our efforts in the comment section below. Hit like button, share with your friends about us, subscribe our channel to get further updates. Stay connected with us on social networking sites. For more free tutorials, visit our website www.learnetguide.net.